Hey guys, Bon here. Today I'm back with another Elemental Shaman dungeon walkthrough. This time we're going to be taking a look at 13 Dawnbreaker. This is a new one because I decided to go Farseer for this dungeon. If it were up to me, I always recommend playing Stormbringer. I love how fun Stormbringer is. I think Farseer is a little bit more boring, but what weighted more into me making this decision was my group wanted more boss dam. They kind of like when I'm Farseer and doing, less AoE, but bringing in more single target damage. I thought this would be a nice change of pace to see if there's people out there that enjoy playing Farseer, but I always do recommend Stormbringer, especially next patch. It's looking like we're going to be doing a heck of a lot more Stormbringer. So I'm going to be covering my thought process, how I do DPS on trash and bosses, and how I use my defensives to survive. And if you like these videos, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, if you have any questions about my UI or weak auras or add-ons, feel free to join my Discord linked in the description. I have everything set up there for free. So let's get this started. These are the talents that I use for Dawnbreaker 13. Let's go ahead and hit play and fast forward to when the key starts. Get a nice little wind rush going here, because for some reason you can't mount out here. Nice wind rush helps, or roar. This first pool is 6 mobs, 2 caster mobs, and a big prio mob. A big difference in playstyle between Farseer and Stormbringer is Stormbringer you can kind of send your rotational abilities almost like whenever, right? But Farseer is a little bit different. You don't want to P-Wave or Ancestral Swiftness before Storm Ellie or Stormkeeper, right? Because that's they call it the Ancestor window. After you P-Wave, after you Ancestral Swiftness, you summon 2 Ancestors and they're going to help you AoE the ads down, right? You don't want to be casting Stormkeeper when they're out. You don't want to be casting Storm Ellie when they're out because those 2 seconds, they'll be AFK literally doing nothing. So I like to start my pool with focusing the Shadow Mage so I can kick him on CD, put my Storm Ellie down, cast Stormkeeper, and I'm going to double Magma Totem while the tank is sort of gathering, right? I'll get 6 Flame Shocks out immediately with that. So I'm going to double Magma Totem. You can see what I'm casting in my abilities out here, and we are not bloodlusting this pack, right? So you see me do Magma, reset, I kick the Mage, Magma. Then I'm going to go ahead and Primordial Wave the Ritualist, which is my prio target, or any target in which Magma Totem did not Flame Shock. Sometimes you'll miss one. You can see here I have 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's the maximum efficiency with P-Wave Haste. Here's my weak aura for Flame Shocks. I have 6. This one's my Earth Shield. And then after P-Wave, you're going to Ancestral Swiftness, Potion, Lava Burst. And you can see that this Lava Burst here is going to fill up your Maelstrom enough to where you can drop Earthquake. Now your Ancestors are out. You're going to Earthquake, Chain Lightning once for your Stormkeeper, Earthquake, Chain Lightning again, and then Earthquake, Chain Lightning spam. You always want to be casting with your Ancestors down. And then you're going to use your Pet Storm Tempest as well. Defensives are used if you're being targeted by ads with a cast, or if the giant mob puts his debuff on you. It is magical. You can dwarf it, or your healer usually dispels it. This is a channel dot on you that you also want a defensive with the wall, but it doesn't. It's not too bad in terms of damage. After your P wave comes back, it doesn't line up with LMT in this build very well, right? So ideally you wait for the LMT because you don't want to P wave Ancestral Swiftness and send your Ancestral Swiftness, right? Because you would only have 1 Flame Shock up, and that you're not getting the extra haste benefit from having Flame Shock up on multiple people or ads and then sending your Lava Burst P-Wave, right? So in this situation, I send P-Wave and Ancestral Swiftness anyway because ads are going to die, but I don't Lava Burst. I wait till I have LMT up and then I Lava Burst. You can see here I start chaining. I'm going to drop Magma Totem after this and then use my Lava Burst just to get that whatever haste that I can get. So this pack is dead. The next pack, we're going to go ahead and Lust. And the next pack is 6 mobs, but there's 2 sort of beefier mobs to command. The commander has a cast that you have to stop. So figure out which group member is going to be handling that stop. And it has 2 mages and another beefier mob over here, which is the same one we fought earlier. And your defensives are going to be whether you're getting casted on or if that big mob puts that dot that you saw earlier, right? So I'm going to go ahead and open with Magma Totem on these guys, get these 3 out, and then we're going to Lust. Here is the Ritualist that comes in. Unfortunately, I don't have any way to dot all 6, so I'm probably going to end up P-Waving and Flame Shocking 1 to at least have 5. And even then, I think manually Flame Shocking 1 could be a DPS loss, because I'm losing Ancestor Window, right? Because you want to do your Stormkeeper, Storm Ellie before your Ancestor Window, right? So I'm wasting a global here. So that's probably, in retrospect, looking back now, a misplay, but very minor because at least when you Flame Shock, they still Lava Burst the target. Whereas if your Ancestors are available and you cast Stormkeeper or Storm Ellie, they're going to be AFK. And then you're going to go ahead and send that Lava Burst, get a big burst of Maelstrom, Quake, Stormkeeper, Quake, Stormkeeper, and then just go into your regular Chain Lightning Quake spam. And then of course you're kicking the Shadow Mage. And let's see if I do this next play correctly, right? I'm not going to want to send P-Wave until my LMT's back. And ideally, you send P-Wave after a Quake. So then P-Wave would spread Flame Shock to 2 targets, and then you Magma Totem. So I Magma Totem first, then I Quake, which is right, and then I find a target without P-Wave, which is the Commando, and I P-Wave them. Then I have 5 Flame Shocks, right? It's very hard to get 6. I think Blizzard needs to look at elemental Flame Shock spread and maintenance, because it's really bad for us, in my opinion. And then you can just go back into your normal rotation, right? After P-Wave, you send your Lava Burst and you spam Chain Lightning. Then I'm going to end up saving this Storm Ellie, I hope. And also, it's this is my Ancestor timer right here. There's a chance that when your Ancestors despawn, they come back. I believe it's a 20% chance. So the spec is a little bit RNG, whether you proc grandmas or not when you need it, like an AoE. On the first pool, I did not proc them. On this pool, I did, so I ended up doing a little bit more damage. Benefit to Stormbringer is you always have great AoE damage. Farseer it's not bad AoE, right? But Farseer will bring a lot more significant boss damage, in my opinion, which is what my group really wants. Significant and Prile Dam. So now we're going to go ahead and fly up here. This pack of 4 is a Mage, Shadow Mage, and a Web Mage. In terms of your AoE rotation still remains the same. I'm gonna my Stormkeeper is not up, unfortunately. So I dropped Storm Ellie first. So I'm gonna Magma Totem P-Wave to make sure you have all 4 Flame Shock. It's very easy to do when there's just 4. And then in terms of defensiveness, there's only one thing you need to defensive here, and it's if the Web Mage targets you with a Cocoon, I believe. You're gonna want to wall 1, and if it picks you again, you want to Bulwark Totem near the end so that you survive those, because they hit incredibly hard. And then you are kicking the Shadow Mage, at least for my group. I T-Storm there. I guess that was an accident. So there you go. I'm going to cast Stormkeeper. See, casting Stormkeeper, that means my Ancestors are AFK for 1 global, which is like, okay, whatever. I lost some damage there. And then go. So I get Cocoon. I'm gonna Astral Shift or Bulwark the end. I don't know, or neither. Okay, Astral Shift the end, just to survive. My healer had me anyway. I probably didn't even need to use anything. Kicking the Shadow Mage. Now, when you have 4 targets, don't Earthquake and then P-Wave and then Magma Totem. If you Earthquake and then P-Wave, Flame Shock is going to spread to 2 targets. And then if you Magma Totem is a smart Flame Shock spread. It needs to find 3 targets for it to dot those 3 targets. So if you end up P-Waving and you have these 2 Flame Shock but not the Curse Blades, and you drop Magma Totem, there is a chance that Magma Totem just dots the same Flame Shocks you have plus the Curse Blade, and it would miss one of the Curse Blades. I think it actually might have happened to me here. Magma Totem, P-Wave. I end up missing a Flame Shock anyway, so you need to be careful with Flame Shock management in that case, because LMT is not... It's smart, but it's not like a Shadow Crash where it's like it'll get anything that's not dotted. It must find 3 targets. So damage there, DK had his CDs. Farseer is just Farseer, just kind of a little bit boring, but it is a safe place. I mean, it's nice to have 2 hero talents that we have that option to have 2, right? So here in this situation, again, you have a commander that has a Prio kick. You assign that for your group. and the web mage that you can rotate kicks on or spell reflect. Your tank might get upset if you kick it during spell reflect, which happens to us a crap ton. Your defensives are going to be on the cocoon, just like before, and your rotation ability is keep up your get 3 flame shocks, P wave, and then you're just gonna again chain lightning quake. Same thing. So here's a cocoon on my evoker. You can see he pops scales over here. You can see him still like getting owned through that. And if you high, yeah, I just said, Farseer comes on if you high roll Gramos. If you high roll Gramos, it feels good. If you don't, it still feels okay. Just not as good as Stormbringer Tempest. Here's Cocoon, so I'm gonna go ahead and Astral Shift that so I don't die. Make my healer's life so much easier. And I really like running Urshield Talent because you have so many options to refresh it, like in between pulls. It's just like effective health, right? Anytime you take some damage, if Urshield's gonna heal you for 1 to 200k, that's just extra free life that you have. I really am an Urshield enjoyer. And again, send your P wave windows with your LMT magma totem windows, and then chain lightning quake gamers. Now we're gonna get to the first boss, Speaker Shadowcrown. All right, so this boss is relatively simple, I would say, in terms of defensives. You don't really need defensives on this boss unless you're going to take a tick from the puddles that she drops. You should never be getting hit by beam. You should never be getting hit by the puddles if you pre-move. I like to put her on focus because I like to kick her on CD. If you run Seasoned Winds talent, you will be taking 15-30% damage reduction just from kicking her on CD, which is amazing for us. I love that talent. And just make sure you don't kick when your tank is like spell reflect, right? Because this is why I track spell reflect right here. It's been tough getting used to with my warrior tank, but it's working out pretty good. Now, now that we talked about defensives, let's go ahead and start with single target, right? So single target, what you're gonna do is you're gonna start with Storm Ellie, Stormkeeper, P Wave, Ancestral Swiftness, Lava Burst. That's your opener. So here we go. Let's hope I do it correctly. Anyway, I haven't actually replayed this. I cast Stormkeeper, Storm Ellie, and I'm gonna P Wave, Ancestral Swiftness, Lava Burst. Yep. And then I'm probably gonna Earth Shock to get that lightning right on the target, and then you're just gonna spam Lightning Bolt. There's my Earth Shock, spam Lightning Bolt. Here's the beam. Ideally, you save your Spirit Walker's Grace for the beam windows and for the pre-movement windows. I probably could have saved it here, but I didn't want to risk it because it's going clockwise. So I kind of probably waste Spirit Walker's Grace here, but that's okay. We usually get it back really fast. Now, she after the beam she drops pools. You don't want to drop pools near her because then it makes dodging the beam harder because they grow. But you see my pull timer here coming, and you want to start pre-moving when she's about to drop them, right? So here, collapsing knight, you pre-move. You can see my guys pre-moved. I moved anyway, even if it was on me. If you find yourself getting caught under it, it does hurt in higher keys, so you want to astral shift that. If you're like, oh man, I moved too slow, astral shift it 100%. Now I want to rewind to this next window, right? So I see Stormkeepers coming up. So you want to not waste this Earth Shock here. You want to spam Lightning Bolt until you have 100 Maelstrom minimum. Because your rotation, when you have Stormkeeper, is very important. You want to channel your Stormkeeper Earth Shock so you get Surge of Power. Use one charge because its Surge of Power benefits Stormkeeper. It just does extra Lightning Bolts that are empowered. And then Earth Shock again and use your charge as well, right? And these are let's hope this is what I do. So you can see I'm getting to 100, and then I Earth Shock, Stormkeeper, and I'm going to use one charge, which is empowered by Surge of Power, and then I'm going to P Wave because you want to use this on CD as well. P Wave Ancestral Lava Burst into another Earth Shock into another empowered charge of Stormkeeper. So if you want to rewind that back, take a look at closer. That's like super important for your burst windows. Here we send Storm Melee. You want to make sure not to send Storm Melee if she's approaching 50%, because at 50% she's gonna go immune and start to do that explosion thing, right? This is my Gale Shadow trinket down here. If you're running Gale Shadows when she at 50% when she goes immune, make sure that you refresh your Flame Shock so you can maintain your stacks. Here's my Stormkeeper window, Earth Shock. Use one charge, and I'm gonna P Wave Ancestral Swiftness Lava Burst, Earth Shock, use my second charge, and then continue to spam Lightning Bolt. Pretty chill single target rotation. Some would say it's boring, but you'd be surprised how many people don't get it right. So I like to take this time during intermission to Flame Shocker and refresh my Earth Shield and then fly away. And don't risk it. The explosion is bigger than it seems. I would like to just chill out here, then Whirling Surge back in. I come back in, P Wave, Ancestral Swiftness, Lava Burst, Earth Shocks, continue to spam Lightning Bolt, Storm Melee on CD. Here I move a little late. You can see I move late, so I Astral Shift. That's exactly what you want to do, because you'll die. So you see I'm trying to pull Maelstrom from my Stormkeeper. See if I do it correctly. I Earth Shock, Stormkeeper charge 1, and I send the second one naked. So it's a little bit of a DPS loss there, because I didn't have enough Maelstrom to Earth Shock a second time and use my second charge, and my P Wave was 1 second for being off, and instead of like AFKing for a second waiting for P Wave, I just sent it naturally, just natty, just one without it being buffed. I think I end up winning on all boss damage on the logs, because you know with Aug it's like weird how the damage kind of skews. You have to really look at a log to see what your damage was like without the Aug empowerments and stuff. And I decided to hold Storm Alley here because we're gonna do a not a big pool, but there's gonna be a big AOE pool coming up after this. So if you send Storm Alley here, you're not gonna have it for the AOE pool, so you're just gonna do even less damage. So make sure you manage your Storm Elemental uses good. If I had sent it, I'd probably do like such low damage next pool because remember, a Storm Alley gives you haste and it gives you 10% damage. I like to reflame shock the boss so I can maintain my 20 stack. I wonder if it even it doesn't even appear that it's working because she's immune actually. Yeah, I think I'm about to lose my stack. So it looks like it doesn't work if she's immune. That's good to know. I didn't even know that. You know, I just got a stack here randomly somehow. Maybe as she died, she gave me one stack, but now we're gonna go ahead and pull this with the stairs. Someone pulls early. I think that was me. If Ken, my tank, is watching this, it wasn't me. It was you. But if he's not watching it, then yeah, it looked like it was me. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the Dark Caster on focus, and I like to, Storm Ellie, Magma Totem, Stormkeeper, everything before P Wave Ancestral Swiftness, right? I'm waiting for him to pull this. There you go, Magma Totem, get my 6 Flame Shocks up, and then your normal send is, P Wave Ancestral Swiftness Lava Verse into Quake, Chain, Quake, Chain, Quake, Chain. And that's what you're doing, right? I Spirit Walker's Grace because there's a lot of movement here while kicking the Dark Caster on CD. Usually my healer will call for my cap or my knock if we need it. Yeah, okay, so here's my when my P Wave window comes back, I'm gonna Quake and then either P Wave and Magma Totem just to get 6 Flame Shocks. So I decide to Magma Totem first, and then I'm gonna look for a target to P Wave and get 5 Flame Shocks up, and then Ancestral Swiftness into your normal AOE rotation. If you decide to pull these big shadow mobs, where you want to use your defensives is when they start casting these dark flows. You see these dark flows channels? Now 2 of them are channeling. So I have my finger on my health stone because I don't have Astral Shift or Bulwark anymore. So that's what you want to watch out for in these mobs. The frontals, the swirlies, those don't need defensives. But it's when these big manifested shadows start casting flows is when you want to watch. Want to be super careful. That's where you're going to wall and shift. Oh, I got scared. They saw my Ellie running this way. I'm like, where's he going? I thought he was going to pull that trash. Alright, so we decide. We have like a different route compared to other people. I try not to pull anything. I'm going too fast. So we pull. I kick this mob, and then it's basically the same pull we just did. I mean, it might be even be identical with one. Oh, you see my tank getting super low there. Here, I'm Storm Ellie and Stormkeeper during my ancestor window, which is very bad. I actually want to rewind that to see if I was a misplay on my end. It looks like it wasn't a misplay because they weren't up, right? So ideally, like I should have maybe waited instead of sending this P wave ancestral swiftness, waited for Storm Ellie and Stormkeeper, and then because I lost two globals of my ancestor windows. So the AoE is not going to be as strong. And I low rolled grandmas. I didn't proc any. So the damage here is probably not going to be the best. Here my flame shocks are falling off, so I'm going to Quake, P-Wave, Magma Totem soon. There's Quake, there's P-Wave, there's Magma Totem, and then you Lava Burst with Swiftness. Just to get a 5 Flame Shock haste, and then you're back to Chain Lightning Quake spam. I really can't express the importance of having clean unit frames. It's so awesome knowing which mobs are flame shocked, which mobs are casting. Here's where you want to use defenses, right? This dark flows, very dangerous. Or if the dark caster is getting some cast off, it's super dangerous. You can see this pool is a little bit spicy for us. We actually almost all go down. It looks like my DK did not have CDs, which is we might rethink this pool next time. Ooh, someone is missing an Evoker buff. What is my Aug doing? Wasm. Tisk, 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 bro. And then two target, I get asked this a lot. Two target, if they're gonna stand in your full duration, you chain lightning filler. If they're gonna stand in your full duration earthquake, you drop quake. After you drop quake, you get surge of power. You wanna lightning bolt after quake, and then you chain lightning filler because lightning bolt is more damage when it's surge of power buffed, and chain lightning is better just as a filler. So I should be, quaking here and then following it up with lightning bolt. And I have magma totem. I have this. I don't know if it's a bad habit. I think magma toteming two target is good because especially with your P wave windows coming up, you just P wave and send on two targets. And I have Gale Shadow, so I want to keep them flame shocked. It's weird interaction, right? Because you never really want to manually flame shock, but with Gale Shadows, you want to maintain these 20 stacks as long as you can. I probably end up losing them here. Yeah, it looks like I do, which sucks. But so you'll see me manually flame shocking at the end of pools sometimes, just to try to maintain my stacks in between pools. Okay, now this pool is very risky and dangerous that we do. So there's a mini boss, dark caster, and a shadow manifested shadow. So we lust this and burn the mini boss, and everyone takes turns kicking the dark caster. So what you do for defensives here? The boss has an AOE channel. The shadow manifested shadow has an AOE channel, and then the freaking caster can randomly channel or spellcast on you, I believe. So defensives are none of those. Maybe some of those, but if there's an extra ability that this mini boss does that puts a dot on you, that just can erase you from existence. So if you don't have anything for that dot, you need like super help. So let's see what. So he picks me first with the dot. I have a weak aura that lights up that says you're being chosen with the dot, and you also hear my in game go dot, right. So I immediately wall it. You can see my health just dying through this dot. So then, of course, you're going through your normal AoE rotation that I've covered multiple times. I don't think I need to cover that anymore. And then now it's just about surviving and kicking. I believe I actually go down this pool. So here's avoidable tank slam. You get out. And then there's going to be an AoE channel from the manifested shadow. And during that channel, I think the mini boss puts a dot on me. At the end of this channel right here, here's Dark Flows. The mini boss is going to put a dot on me. We have Rally up. You'll see the weak aura pop up here. There it is, targeted. Abyssal Blast on you. That's the insane dot. And you'll see me spamming down here my Bulwark Totem. But the thing about Bulwark Totem is it's on the global cooldown. So like I should have dropped it, but I was just greedy and like spamming Chain Lightning, thinking I could live one more global. I also have Health Pot, but I don't have Astral Shift. So you'll see me spamming it down here. I'm pressing it like 3 times and I die. So like I get upset. I'm like, I'm like pressing it. I'm pressing it, but it's in global cooldown. So I onk, which is probably not the best thing, but I do have health pot and totem and shift back. And I'm like, okay, let's just hope that it doesn't target me with the dot. And of course, it picks me immediately. So the first thing I do is I bulwark and I wall. Bulwark, wall, and it still eats straight through everything. Still need like super help. This dot is crazy. And I'm like, if it picks me again, I'm probably dead. The only thing I have left is health potion. But I was fortunate, and it picks my healer, I believe. I think. Oh wait, it picks my Aug here, and then it picks my healer next. So it picks my Evoker, and then it's gonna pick my healer. It's Abyssal Blast out. Yeah, it picks healer, and then he has nothing. It looks like. So he's like fighting for his life. Oh, Bulwark Totem. I should actually track Bulwark Totem here on the side. I don't have that added yet. But that was the big shield that you saw there. Very nice about my healer staying alive. Alright, next boss, I believe it's essentially the same thing as previous boss. You're going to want to use your defensives if you have that dot during the AoE. So these parts are very difficult in terms of living. Like you got to have a baller healer to really keep you alive through this. So that's the mini boss in pink. We're getting blocked by random abilities. And then here's the Abyssal Blast. My DK gets it first. And then another dot's coming, followed by Shadowy Decay. So the way you die is if you get this dot right here. I'm getting it here, Abyssal Blast, and he's going to start AoEing. So Abyssal Blast, I have a dot, I wall it, and here's Shadowy Decay, right? That's a possibility as well. So I'm walled, I get rescued, I have a dot, and I'm still almost dying. I'm like, oh my god, okay? So that's how you can use your defensives here. In terms of damage, again, it's the same rotation. Storm Ellie, Stormkeeper, Magma Totem, P-Wave, and Sen Chain Lining. I'm kind of complaining, mid-run because the Farseer is not as exciting as Stormbringer. It's boring in my opinion, but it gets the job done and it brings good boss damage. I will always be recommending Stormbringer to the boys and girls for sure. I love Stormbringer. And next patch, we're getting lots of changes, and I believe Stormbringer is going to look very juicy. Okay, we're going to fly over to the third and final mini boss. And we pulled it with some ads. So again, same rotation applies. You're going to be doing your normal AoE rotation, only you're going to be doing it off the mini boss. And you actually don't worry about lightning rod management as much because you don't have Tempest to spread lightning rod. You just earthquake off the prio mob and it'll spread naturally. So the way you can die here is, again, there's that massive Abyssal Blast dot that you're trying to survive, fight for your life. You're kicking the mage. But there's a good chance to die because it summons this orb. When the orb explodes, it does like half of everyone's health. So if you have this dot, like right here, right? I'm getting the dot with the orb. I can't totem now because the dot is gonna eat my totem, and then this is gonna hit, and then the next dot's gonna kill me. So I want to time it so my bulwark totem like absorbs like this hit. Well, let's see what I end up doing. Yeah, so I bulwark totem, we Zephyr, and then the orb hits and the dot hits, and I'm actually surviving it because we rally Zephyr and I bulwark totem, so we're chilling. You can see the next dot is on my DK, and he's fighting for his life. No orb though. So the dangerous windows are here. Here comes the orb and dot. Orb is coming, and then the dot is it's on my DK. So let's see if he goes down. He might AMS or something. Nope. He hits 20%. He does. It was a late AMS. Misty, what is you doing, my boy? I'm just kidding. Misty's a go. He's a great player. Now my healer's got the dot fighting for his life with Astral Shift up. This dot is no joke. Here you go. I get the dot. I Astral Shift, and the orb is going to hit. So my finger is on my health pot. Let's see if I use it or not. Think I'm okay. Boom. Nope, I'm good. Trust in your defensives for sure. We pull in additional mobs. I put it on focus, and I kick on CD. Get my totem down. And your P-Wave windows with Storm Ellie and Stormkeeper. Here, dot is on me, and I have nothing, so I'm gonna time this health pot before the explosion. I healed a full, and then it explodes. Oh, that actually, we kill the mini boss. So I'm gonna rewind it for a second, so you guys can see what's happening. He's gonna do an orb, and the dot. So here comes the orb and the dot. I'm getting the dot, no wall, no bulwark totem. So I'm like, if this goes off, I'm dead. So I health pot to full, but he dies, and if he dies with the orb is out, the orb doesn't explode. So health pot wasted, but better safe than sorry. I love kicking these guys because again you get damage reduction to the whatever school of magic that is. I can't say for certain if that's the same school of magic that the orb is, which I assume is shadow damage, and the dot. If it is, then I should be kicking even more on CD just to take significantly less damage. Dredge King with the sub. Thank you, Dredge. Okay, so second boss, a noob. This bug is just a noob. Okay, here we go. Uh, let's see if I take advantage of flame shocking this victim here, because you can like drop magma totem on Puller and like get like a free flame shock P wave on boss. But this boss is straight single target. You can use the first Stormkeeper, and then you save every Stormkeeper for ads after that. So I believe that's true. I'll see right now when we hit play. Defensiveness, there's only one thing to defensive. It's the Shadowy Decay. He does AoE pulse. So you talk to your healer. My healer usually goes defensives here, and that's when I wall. Or if he says, I have so much healing, if you die, it's my fault, and I'm the noob, right? So then I gotta trust my healer to save my defenses. So we're just waiting for him to drink, and he's gonna come back to fight with us. And I send the first Stormkeeper not optimally, but I just want to send it just so I have it for the set of ads. You want to bait the orb down the hill or however where you're tanking it, just furthest away. It's going to be a big hit. Avoid the tank circle and then survive his AoE. I believe on the first AoE we never hit anything. Okay, we AMZ, but I saved my wall, my bulwark, because I'm just chilling. Oh, we're kind of chilling. 20% danger mode. All right, so he's spawning ads. You're gonna quake, summon your chain lightning, Stormkeeper P wave. Let's see if I magma totem here. I do magma totem, and then I'm sending quakes and Stormkeepers. And then in between that, you can't let any of these ads cast. They'll kill someone. You're gonna want to cap. You're gonna want to knock up and use your end kicks. You'll see me target that mob and kick. Looks like, or just looking for kicks in general, just so they don't kill somebody. So now this is the Shadowy Decay. I'm probably gonna Astral Shift this, which I do. So I'm just chilling here with Astral Shift. And that's the whole fight, right? You're just single target rotation and then save the Stormkeeper for the ads. And then ideally when ads are spawning, you Quake, Stormkeeper with Chain Lightning, of course. And then you want to P-Wave Magma Totem in between just to get that pace. So there's my Stormkeeper, I Magma Totem, P-Wave, send my P-Wave, and then I'm going to Quake, Stormkeeper, Quake, Stormkeeper. I Thunderstorm there just to CC them. Ooh, a mob gets a cast off on me. You can see how much health. I'm going to rewind that back. Because that's very important, right? You need stop. I probably should have cap totem here. This mob here is targeting me with a spell, and you can see that it goes all the way off. And you can see my health take, 42% of my health. That's no joke. If that happens during the AoE or the orb hit, then you're just dead. So that can't happen. So I'm looking for kicks. I get that kick there, and then we just go back on the wall single target. And usually I don't delay P-Wave for ads. Delaying P-Wave is almost never good unless it's like Magma Totem for AoE. Even then, I don't even know if it's worth delaying P-Wave, to be honest. I'd have to dig deeper to see if that's the play or not. Single target, I just send that. Send it on CD, bro. You need those grandmas out right away. They do significant part of our damage. I mean, you can see them right now. They're up. They're just like chain lining, chain lining, chain lining, right? Very satisfying to see. It's unfortunate that their chain lining only hits 3 targets. Maybe they'll change it in the future, but I feel like their chain lining should also be hitting 5 targets. You can hear my healer calling, personals in the background, or don't use personals. I love having a healer that's very vocal and communicates well. For Spirit Walker's Grace, I like to use it for the orb, just to get out the way, in and out the way. It's the only time you should ever need it. Here's ads, Stormkeeper, Magma, P-Wave, and then Quake, Chain Lightning, Quake, Chain Lightning. Love it. Easy rotation. And then pray that you high roll grandmas, which I did. Look, I got an extra grandma. This is my grandma timer right here. This boss, big heal check. You need a baller healer. A big heal check. Use your defensives accurately, okay? Or use them well. Only use them for the Shadowy Decay. That's all you're going to need them for. Nothing else. Help your healer out. That's how you live that boss. Now we're going to get to the final mini-boss of this dungeon. This mini-boss owns. Make sure you prio kick it because you get CDR. If this architect selects 2 people, I believe, and just nukes them, you want to pop a defense if it's on you immediately. You know, you shift for one. On the next one, use bulwark totem. Um, don't don't delay your personals. Like you need to use them. It's very hard for a healer to just continually top 2 people off. So let's see who gets selected. I get selected and immediately wall. You can see me still dying through wall. It's crazy amounts of damage. And then there I go. I kick that, and then it's gonna spawn some ads. The ads are not as strong as the mini boss, but they're still kind of disruptive and cast on people. So we like to stand in healing rain because you know extra heals. Why not? When the ads spawn, I like to magma totem them just to get more flame shocks out for your P wave windows. Sometimes they don't group up nicely, so it's a pain trying to get flame shock on them. I don't bother like manually, you know, dot them or anything. Just if magma totem gets them, it does. If not, it doesn't. And then I'm quaking just for disrupts and stops on the mages and just to help out the healer. And they do have to die. They don't despawn when the Miniboss dies. You can see I bulwark totem that debuff when I get it. And then when you have nothing, guys, make sure that your finger's on the health pot. Never assume your healer's going to get you. So here, I have my wall back, so if I get selected, I would have walled. But you can see lots of casts going off here. I'm looking to try to kick Shadow Mage because the Architect doesn't seem like it casts very often. I notice I'll kick it once and then it won't cast for like a freaking long time. So when it dies, it ports over to the other side and then you finish off the little ads and then you wait for your healer to drink and you pull the boss. So Rasha'nan is still a heal check, but not as insane as the previous boss in my opinion. In terms of defensives in P1, I like to Astral Shift if he's AoEing and you're carrying like a barrel. Because when you're holding the barrel of explosives, it does damage to you and he's doing damage to you with the dot and AoE, right? So don't carry a barrel while you have the dot from the AoE or he's AoEing if you don't have a defensive. Because you're probably going to die in a hierarchy. Save Spirit Walker's Grace in phase 1 for when you're ferrying the barrels from back here to the boss so you don't lose that much uptime. Although sometimes you might have to just say, you know, screw it, Ghost Wolf, Gust of Wind out, pick one up, run back in, and then drop it off. And Lust phase 2 always. Again, single target, we've gone through it on the first boss. Very simple. You know, you Storm Ellie, Stormkeeper, P-Wave, Ancestral Swiftness, Lava Burst, and then ideally you Earthshock, Stormkeeper charge 1, Earthshock, Stormkeeper charge 2. If you don't, then just send your Stormkeeper charges naturally, just natty without anything. So you can see me Spirit Walker's Grace. Let's rewind that back, right? So he's gonna AoE and I'm gonna pick up a barrel. So I'm gonna wall this AoE and pick up a barrel on Spirit Walker's Grace while losing minimal uptime. And then you're gonna extra action button just to drop the barrel off on his head. I'm gonna pick up another one. And then while I have Spirit Walkers, I'm losing like no uptime, right? And then I just continue my single target. Now this next part can get a little bit hard. I don't have wall, I don't have bulwark on him. I still have potion though. We still have AG, so we drop AMZ for this. So he pulsates, and then he has this 3-stack dot on us, right? So we're just like bleeding, bleeding, bleeding. I pick up barrel, but my finger is on the health stone. You don't want to pick up the barrel if you're gonna get that wave, because that wave hits kind of hard and it stuns you. So I'm gonna send the third barrel, and he's gonna phase. So I don't know if I do this here, but there's a way to maintain. I like to refresh Flame Shock in his just to keep my Gale shadow stacks, right? I like to, if you go to the bridge and stand on the bridge, as he flies under it, you can flame shock him just to maintain your 20 stacks of Gale shadows. So see if I actually do it here. I land and I flame shock him, which is I'm like, all right, awesome. So then you can go straight to the safe area, and then when he flies over you, you can flame shock him again. I always overshoot this. I don't know what's wrong with me, but we turn around, we're good. You can see he's flying. Flame shock, we're off. I'm just jumping, trying to get a flame shock off. And then here, you don't delay your Stormkeeper. I'm probably gonna send Stormkeeper, P-Wave, Lava Burst, Earthshock 1. And then just wait. Actually, let me look that. Let me look back that rotation. So we're gonna Lust here. I Stormkeeper, Lust, P-Wave, Ancestral Swiftest Potion, Lava Burst, and then I Natty send one charge, and then I'm gonna Earthshock send another one. Either way, I did not have enough Maelstrom to Earthshock Storm Charge 1, Earthshock Storm Charge 2. So ideally, you try to buff one of them, but don't delay it so that you can buff both of them with Surge of Power. Okay, defensives in this phase. If you get selected by the web, you're gonna save your Spirit Walker's Grace, and you're gonna wall this right before it hits, which is what I do. And you're gonna Spirit Walker's Grace, and you're gonna break this, and you're walled, and this wall is gonna last through his AOE phase. Some of it, not all of it. So he's gonna. Ooh, actually, it didn't wall. It didn't go through. So that wall there is probably not the best. There are certain overlaps where you do wall, and then you come back and he does his spray, which is like very nice. But fortunately, my healer's like, no, I have big healing for this first set, so you don't need anything. Rolling acid, you can see which way the waves are going, right? These are going right, so then my Evoker's gonna go to the right and clear the waves with the green slime, and it's gonna stun you. Don't stand near it. Like it'll stun you even if you're like here. So make sure you like be generous with the room that you're giving. Now, if you get the webs again and don't have Astral Shift or Spirit Walker's Grace, you use your Bulwark Totem. I get lucky and I don't get anything here. If I would have gotten webs there, what I would do is I would run out and I would drop Bulwark Totem and I would Gust of Wind back out to snap my webs. Because when you're standing in the webs, you're just like ticking, ticking, ticking damage. Here's AoE. I don't know what I do here. Okay, he said he was linking, so I hold my defenses, which is amazing for me. Dodge your swirlies, because now I have Spirit Walker's Grace, which I should have saved for the webs, but I used it there to keep maintain uptime because he put the swirlies under me. So if he picks me, I'm gonna wall. I run out and I'm gonna wall, and then this would, if it picked me with acid, it would have overlapped my wall with that acid. So maybe walling is not the play. That I'm thinking this back. Maybe Bulwark told him the webs instead, and then save your wall for his AOE ticking. But like when you drop off the webs, like that does a lot of damage as well. So I'm not exactly sure what the play is. The play is just to survive no matter what. Now, if he picks you with webs here and you have nothing, you want to make sure you health pot immediately after the web hit. Like I have nothing here, so if I got hit by those webs, I would health pot and then Gust of Wind out. Here's the asset. I want to bring it to the right and clear these webs. You see, it stuns you, which sucks. And then AoE, I have nothing, but we have Rally. And worst case scenario, you can healing surge yourself in these windows, right? If you don't need the DPS and you're gonna time the key anyway, don't be scared to healing surge yourself. Reapply Earth Shield. Here I wall the web. I run out, and then I'm gonna gust the wind out so I can snap it. And then maintain uptime. Always be casting. Now this AoE, okay, so he ends up dying, which is awesome. So we time our 13 Dawnbreaker. And we break 3k actually, which is awesome. And we all die on the boat. I swear, I don't know how they haven't fixed that yet. That's crazy. But that's the end of the video, everyone. If you like this, again, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know what dungeon I should do next. We're going to be seeing bigger keys now that dungeons have been nerfed a little bit. So expect to see some 14s, maybe even 15s in the upcoming weeks. So take care, everyone. Catch you on the next video.